International Telecommunication Union, and it's an agency of the United Nations. They're meeting next week to negotiate a treaty on internet regulations and discuss policies ranging from cybersecurity to online fraud. But digital rights groups have criticized the push for so-called internet central government and insist that an international treaty that includes the influence of countries like China, Russia, and others could lead to greater online censorship. Now, the ITU says its main objective is to increase internet access to underserved communities. But should this goal be achieved through international regulations? And can it be done without harming internet freedoms?
We've seen leaked proposals that clearly implicate the internet that would, that with the goal of improving cybersecurity, whatever that may mean, it means different things to different countries, could limit people's privacy by, being able to identify a communication anywhere in the network. Another proposal would limit free expression by authorizing governments to shut down communication networks for, in the name of national security.
From your view, as someone who fights to protect civil liberties online, how much of a realistic threat do you see in cybersecurity and cyber war, and how much do you see that being used as kind of a useful boogeyman?
I think cybersecurity is such a subjective concept that it's almost, I don't think it's useful to really use the term very much.
It's that issue of transparency that's coming up. Sunju says there's no transparency at all. Individual governments have tried and failed, and now they want to use the UN to push for their bid. Another from Mohammed, who says governments will basically use censorship to their advantage, crushing and suppressing all voices against them.
Well, how do you respond to the critics who say that there's been a lack of transparency in your process?
Well, I've asked as Secretary General of ITU, I've asked every nation to have national consultations, and many countries have done so, and have requested ITU to send delegations there to continue to explain what the ITRs are about. And some countries have done so, and every country anyone who wants information can contact his national government to get the information.
And that the idea of trying to get all 193 countries together to agree by consensus on policies related to anything related to content, really, that alone, it's very difficult to imagine how you could come to a consensus that would be acceptable to all players. The general question about how much should governments be able to watch what users are doing online, and what are their motives there? Is it in, pursuing real criminals? In some normative sense, or is it trying to control people who might be engaged in some kind of activism that a government doesn't like?
We've seen reports that the internet has been shut down in Syria.
Yeah.
Decode says, to say that there isn't jamming today, look at what Syria has done to their internet. The abuses of control already exist. There's a Facebook comment from Naomi who says, in fact, dozens of countries, including China, Russia, and some Arab states, already restrict internet access within their own borders. But these governments would have greater leverage over internet content and service providers if changes are made.